Blackkklansman was written by Charlie Watchell, David Rabinowitz, Kevin Wilmot, and Spike Lee. Spike Lee also directed the movie, and Spike Lee is famous for making political movies that center race, and more specifically blackness, in a way that makes people uncomfortable and lead to introspection. His other movies that he's well known for are She's Gotta Have It, Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X, Chirac, Bamboozled, and When the Levees Broke. The film was released on August 10, 2018, which happened to be the day before the one-year anniversary of August 11th and 12th in Charlottesville, which are featured at the very end of the film. It was important for Spike Lee to tie in a modern-day event to remind the audience that although the movie does have a comedic lens, the violence of the KKK is very much alive in the present day. It is not simply an ideology of the past. In fact, the movie was already finished before the events of August 11th and 12th, but Spike Lee felt that it was important to add it in the end and even asked Heather Hayer's mother for permission to use her image in the movie. Generally speaking, Blackkklansman is set in the 1970s in America, and it takes a comedic look at the KKK through the story of Ron Stallworth, a black cop, as he infiltrates the Klan over the phone while his Jewish partner Flip acts as his proxy in person. Kwame Ture is shown in the film to be like Malcolm X in his earlier years as he tries to encourage a violent revolution against the oppression of the white system. But it is important to note that he begins by describing Black power as self-love,
Who must define beauty for black people. Now that's black power. We are black and we are beautiful.
and only turns to violence out of necessity and retribution to the treatment from the system of white power.
I'd rather see a brother kill a white racist cop than kill a Vietnamese. Because at least if he kills a racist cop, he is doing it for a reason, because they are shooting black people in the backs in these streets right here in this very country.
There's also a contrast when the collective of black people and their chant with power to all as opposed to KKK chants of white power.
All power to all the people! 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 All power to all the people!
Despite being centered around resistance, these clips function to show black people in a more positive light when planning acts of resistance, instead of the typical portrayal of angry and violent as the Black Panther Party is often shown to be. Throughout the movie, Ron has to negotiate his opposing identities as a black man and a cop. Some of the cops that he worked with mistreat him for being black, while Patrice's lawyer are angry at him for being a cop. In each social circle, he is expected to tune out other aspects of his life to better fit in. He also gets assigned certain duties, including being the guard of the Grand Wizard at work that undermine his personal safety as a black man. In that way, he is similar to the 2000 Shaft, as he is placed in a position where he can't be blue and black.
America first! America first! America first! America first! America first! America first!
Ain't this a bitch? If I would have known this was a Klan meeting, I wouldn't have taken this motherfucking gig. God damn.
While this clip emphasizes how it feels for a black man to be tricked into attending a Klan meeting, at least they had the luxury of being tricked by the organization versus the Klan.
The Blackkklansman film depicts the ways in which the KKK manipulates language into a weapon. By using terms such as the organization and referring to David Duke as the national director instead of Grand Wizard, white supremacists enable themselves to be legitimized on a broader scale. Spike Lee is able to show how the manipulation of language is used to disguise how heinous the KKK is through the attempts of rebranding and the use of misinformation.
Flip can be viewed by white audiences as the white savior, as he played a very important role in helping Ron take down the KKK. Although Ron did things like continuing this investigation and talking to members of the KKK, including their Grand Wizard David Duke, his goals would not have been achieved if it wasn't for Flip being able to pass as white and represent Ron and the KKK. Even after the fact, when Ron was trying to arrest Felix's wife, more police came and tried to arrest Ron for quote-unquote harming Felix's wife. even after telling the officers that he is a detective and revealing where his badge was. It wasn't until Felix came and told the officers that Ron was a detective that they finally let him free.
Who the fuck are you? Undercover cop, you fucking idiot. That black guy's a cop. Give me your keys.
In looking at the Blackkklansman movie, the film portrayed the KKK as a joke. By taking on a comedic approach, it made the members of the KKK appear to just be idiotic racists. The audience spends most of their time laughing instead of acknowledging the issues presented by the film.
We had a great way of life. We had a great way of life.
This enables them to separate themselves and prevents them from identifying with some aspects or confronting any personal issues that they may have. To quote an article written by Alyssa Wilkinson for Vox, the point of Blackkklansman seems to be that laughing at the KKK, dismissing them as an irrelevant group of backward morons, is what got us Donald Trump, end quote. Although this is the point of the movie, the comedic approach of the film does not allow for the white audience to feel uncomfortable and therefore confront and think deeply about the issue of racism. It was only at the end with the inclusion of video clips of the riot at the University of Virginia on August 11th of 2017 that the wake-up call was given. Even the good white people in the film allowed for racism to happen in their presence, which may lead the white audiences to believe that not getting involved and ignoring the issue altogether is doing enough. The clips of the riot at the end is what makes the white audience feel uncomfortable and brings awareness to the severity of the issue of racism going on in our world right now.
On the other hand, Black audiences tended to relate to the movie in a different way, as they did not feel like they were the target audience, unlike the majority of Spike Lee's films. They saw Blackkklansman as a dark comedy due to the real danger that lurked beyond the caricatures that were displayed. It was funny to watch the KKK being depicted as idiots, but at the same time, there was the real danger of knowing that these ideologies exist today.
We would actually like to see Patricia's representation of a black woman repeated throughout media. Instead of being the common, angry, out-of-pocket black woman, she is actually portrayed as well-educated and is able to express herself and get what she wants in a productive manner instead of just yelling and screaming and whatnot.
Secretary of Guinea to honor the great leaders.
Well, that is heavy. You know how we got to Colorado Springs?
Yeah, the Colorado College Black Student Union invited him.
Oh, I can dig it. Are you part of the union?
I'm the president.
Really? I'm talking to the president right now?
Yes, you are.
Right on, sister. Well, I bought a ticket. May I skip the line since I'm talking to the president?
There's no cut in line. To the back.
See you inside.
Overall, Blackkklansman did well with large audiences and film critics, as it had 108 award nominations with 28 wins, including BET Best Movie, Academy Award for Best Writing Adapted into a Screenplay, and a Cannes Grand Prix. Blackkklansman can also boast a 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.